Okay, I don't know how well this is going to pick up. I figure I'll start this out showing my birthday presents this year, and actually some equipment that I'm very interested in telling you about. First, here is my night vision and infrared camera for spook hunting. I don't know. We look like we got a lot of contrast here. I don't know how well the light is for this. This is my infrared handset that kind of goes with this. I can't even tell if this is on. Actually, let me take this close and see if any of these show up. Okay, you see that dull red glow in this handset? If I turn it off, they go off. Doesn't look like it's very bright, see? But you're going to see later on that this thing just kind of lights up the freaking night in a picture. Here is, this is going to be interesting, the effect. Now see, you can barely see anything at all there. You just barely see those little LEDs. But when I shine that over here, well, you can't see that, but that's a whole different, turn it off. Okay, can you see me? This is the IR light. This, you can't see IR. You just see these little, looks like little red LEDs going. But here's me in lighthouse video. Okay. I'm going to use it a little bit later in this video. You're going to see some night vision that I tested out just the other night. Didn't get any orb activity. There just wasn't any orbs to pick up on. Let me get this out of the way and I'll show you some of the other gear. This little cutie right here is a REM pod. Let me get one out that's not on. It's just doesn't look like anything special. I like these. It's just a wire loop. You just an on switch. You switch it on. You get close to it, it comes on. All right, I have 4 or 5 of these. Actually, a little boogie bag for my paranormal investigations. REM pods, extra batteries, digital camera. You're probably wondering what these are. This was also a gift this year, some tong darts. All right, tong darts. Lousy Chinese steel. Now, this little screaming Mimi is going off because this little toy has a REM pod hidden in it. Now, let's say you're going to a place that has the ghosts of children, and you say, well, we put this little toy out on the floor, say if you'd like to, you can come and play with it. Because if you play with it, if you touch it, it will tell the world that you are here, and you get to show people that you are here and you are existing. Okay, got another one right here. I don't know why that came on just now, but it's my digital recorder for EVP sessions. I don't know how well you can see that. It decided to come on all of a sudden. Camera and stuff set up on the table here. It's an EVP session that I was doing a while back. Okay, we'll let that go down. That was in here. What we have here. Turn that off. Okay, so we got a little toy there. Lots of toys here. Okay. This is a millimeter that Deborah sent me. I don't know how well this is going to pick up out here. Now, a lot of folks, I have whole arguments with people sometimes on the nature of paranormal. Actually, I don't even really like the term paranormal, but for our purposes, it'll suit as opposed to talking about something else. I'm having a problem here because stuff is running out of can you believe the batteries died on this poopy? Batteries died out on a number of things. Oh, there we go. What the heck? All right. Range units. There we go. It's telling us. I don't know if you can see that very well. It's backlit. We're near the. Okay. See, we're registering a 0.01, a 0.03. Now, watch what happens. We talk about charmed items all the time. And it's kind of like, well, people think magic is just a subjective thing. Well, actually, the word magic is just a word we use to describe forces that we don't yet understand or anything. But some of us do understand them. That's why we're called witches and wizards. And there is a force. They say, well, you can't measure it. It's not quantifiable. And the fact is, it is. A charged ring, for instance. Let's get you where we can see this number here. All right, come on. There we go. All right. We got another ring over here. See? We got one here, and we can measure that. Look at that number. Okay, we got another one here. Okay, whoops. Let's get this where you can see this. And we're going to measure that. I can't get this where I can read this. Okay. Now, let's see. A medallion, charmed medallion. Okay. So, we move this over here. We got a little bit. Yes, I have a little bit of an EM field. Closer to the medallion, it gets ridiculous. Okay? So, some things about this, the jewelry that I've been making and sending to some of you and all that is quantifiable. Okay? Like I say, this measures the current temperature. You see it's almost about 78 degrees. We are near an EM field here. Macintosh that I'm recording this off of. Let's power that down and see what's left of that battery. There we go. Okay, that was interesting. That's the millimeter. Okay, so this is for doing sweeps and stuff like that. Now, this here is an athame, and it's used for focusing power. I don't know how well you can see that REM pod over there. I'm going to go stand next to it. Now watch what happens. I get my hand close to it. I don't have to get super close, but close enough. The spirit has to actually touch that. Two of these. Back a little bit. Let's see, I can. With this, allows you to extend your aura energy, that EM field that surrounds your whole body, and allows you to focus it. Into something that these things can pick up. So when people tells you that things like magic and witchcraft are not quantifiable things, you can tell them you know better. I do. Okay, let's put the athame away, and let's try. Here's another little item we have over here. This is called a spirit radio. Let me turn it on. Okay. Is there anybody out there? What you got is it's sweeping the bandwidth, and it's picking up little bits of music. But sometimes when you take this on a little paranormal hunt, it picks up voices. And they will answer you quite clearly and distinctly. There's nothing out here right now, though. Most of the things around here I've actually sent on. You out here now? Hello? Do you have a name? Normally I'd start recording this with an EVP session. But that's not the purpose of this particular session right now. This is just to show you some of the stuff. Like I say, a number of birthday gifts. Thank you, Heather. Thank you, Deborah. Tom, Mel. And of course, what every active ultra needs is a wonderful little recurve bow that breaks down, fits into a briefcase. In case you ever want to quietly assassinate somebody in a business setting. But this neat little thing kind of goes together. We're all about weapons and stuff like that here. we just buckle that down nice and tight. Get this and we'll just kind of put that together real quick. We're not going to string this and go through all of that, but as you can see, what we have here is, well, let me step back a little bit. We have a full-size recurve bow that breaks down and, like I say, fits into a suitcase. Or actually smaller than a suitcase. It'll fit into a briefcase. Okay, let me break that puppy down. See, that's not such a big piece. Put this back on here. And it has a string and all that kind of stuff for it. It's just the box that it came in. I have to learn how to use this movie maker and that to edit things. But as you can see, the whole thing would fit into a briefcase. Plastic stuff in there. Alrighty, that's that little item. Let's turn on this little item here. Alrighty, and for mode, all right, we're recording here and we're recording from over there. It's going to be a little bit different kind of quality than what you're seeing here off of my MacBook. My Wizard's bag, my Athame. Well, it's a little pill bottle, but it's actually got charcoal in it. A couple of mirrors for charging crystals. Little pouch has something in it. What are we going for here? Oh, okay, it's a little silver ring. I use it for holding like a crystal ball. Oh, here's a neat little thing. I keep it in a watertight. This is a very interesting deck of tarot cards. Now, my grandma, this was sent to me by, this was sent to me by Connie Miles. My grandma, when she used to read cards, well, back in the day, getting tarot cards was kind of difficult, and one didn't want oneself to be known as a witch. Especially in our clan, this is how we lived so many centuries. But this is called Gypsy Witch, and it's a regular deck of 52 cards, but each card has a little, the Queen of Spades, number 42. Amor is a sign that someone is looking at you with great love and longing. And so it's a nice little readable deck like tarot cards. But it's regular. It's a lot like my grandma used to read, but these have the definitions and stuff on them, which I think is really cool. So I incorporated them into my Wizard's bag, because you never know when you want a little information about something, and you draw some cards. I have a couple little containers. These are come in handy. One has tobacco. The other one has salt. Tobacco for offering Native Americans. Actually, it was a Native American shaman that kind of gave me that little bit. I've been using sage for quite a bit, and I use copal. He says, try a little pinch of tobacco in that and see what the spirits do. And man, I was surprised, especially when you're out in nature and you want certain things and add certain blessings. The tobacco is great. The salt is great for anything, any kind of corruptible type spirit. He cannot stand it. Actually, any kind of corruptible anything. If you're talking about leeches or slugs, you sprinkle a little bit of that on them and they burn like they were lit up on fire. We have a container of copal. I would take one of these little charcoal briquettes here and light them up on my little stone here so it doesn't start a fire. I don't know if you can see that. They're hard to see with that backlight here. There's a symbol of Danu, Tuatha Danann. Let me go over here. Can you see that? Danu, Tuatha Danann. Yeah. Well, and I got a lighter, of course. Now, I might add other things to my bag depending on where I'm heading out to and what I got to do, but this is just kind of a general thing. My daughter made this for me years ago. It's just stuff that I use. I can use for make a quick little ritual for clearing out a place. My athame, of course, goes in there. Seeing it, it's got. Yeah, we are that awful backlighting there. I think you can see my name on there in runes. It's athame, and that goes into my paranormal bag. All the rest. Right over here, here we have my digital camera. The thing I like about this camera is it picks up orb activity really good. Smile, we're taking your picture. Okay. Might include that later on. But that goes into here. I got my little black backpack. I got a little space for everything. Let's turn that puppy off. And I got some waterproof containers in there to make sure my stuff don't go all the hell on me in case it gets wet. Some of the nights up here in the mountains are quite damp. See, I got 4 of those REM pods, actually 5 if you want to count that little fella. Let's see, those little kids. Here is, this is going to be interesting, the effect. Now see, you can barely see anything at all there. You just barely see those little LEDs. But when I shine that over here, well, you can't see that, but that's a whole different, turn it off. And we'll store that away, nice and dry. We take our millimeter and here's the pouch for it. Oh, there it is. This is the sensor for the temperature, actually. Temperature readings. And this goes in here. The way that digital recorder went off while it was still in the pouch, I don't like that. Okay, so there's the millimeter. It's got a little spot back in here. Took off. Battery. Okay, this is my little charging station over here. I don't know if these batteries are dead or just something weird going on. They shouldn't be dead. I didn't use them all that much. We're going to put those in this front little zipper pouch. Okay. And I believe, well, these are some things that got kind of charging up at the charging station. Some of those runes, those beautiful rose quartz runes. They just practically, look, even with the backlight as bad as it's been, they just practically glow. I have a little charmed necklace in a spelled bag. It's to protect it. You see the symbol, ooh, where is it? There we go. You can barely make it out, of the Tuatha De Danann. Now you see the circle with the four corners in it. That is a symbol normally known for the earth, all right, or in this case Danu, which is Mother Earth, Mother Nature. Now you see that little W symbol on the top? That's not a double W. That's the rune sigil. It's actually one of the older forms of it. Like I say, this goes back to Paleolithic times. And what you have is the sky god sending life force. That's what sigil normally stands for, sending life force down to earth. And the Tuatha De Danann, or Tuatha De Danann, it's spelled a number of different ways. We just kind of spell it how we spell it in our family and just kind of let it go at that. You can argue from one county to the next in Ireland and England, and they're going to tell you a little bit differently according to their own traditions, and I don't really have a problem with that, just so we understand who and what we're talking about. So we have the sky god, or the creator, sending down this life force energy to earth. It kind of reminds you a little bit of the Genesis account where God comes down and makes man out of the dust of the ground, out of clay, and breathes life into him, and he becomes a living soul. And it's kind of, okay, if God the creator is your father, then who's your mother? Well, the dust of the ground. That's what this body turns back into when you leave it behind. So that's the children of Danu, the Tuatha De Danann. The people are children of Danu, the people of the earth. And that's who we are. And actually, I'd like to see as many of you as possible. I don't care where you live, what culture. I don't care if you're not Irish or Norse, but you are all children of this earth and children of that creator God. You have a father and you have a mother. And when you realize that, and you realize that we are all brothers and sisters under the same, along with the animals here, and along with spirits high and low, we belong. And I'd like to see many of you just adopt that for your own. Not trying to push off a religion. I'm trying to get by an idea that you're bigger than just this petty world paradigm that can do nothing but create divisions over and over and over again. I'm packing up my spirit radio, winding up the cord. This is the external speaker. This thing is loud and really kind of gets on my nerves after a little bit of playing, but we get some really interesting things out of it. For instance, I went and I cleared the Bradford site, and essentially I explained to those spirits there the same thing I've been explaining to you people via YouTube and my books and that. It kind of sent them on their way. There was no need for them to be earthbound. See, they dropped their bodies and they didn't know what the hell to do from there, because people told them all kinds of things that they should believe in, and they believed in them, and when they got to it, it's like it wasn't so. But what do? I don't know. All I know is what you told me. Geez, it's a sin to look at anything else, to read any other book but the Bible. And I love the Bible. Those of you who know me, know I quote it forward and backwards often. I love it. And I make no apology to my pagan friends for that. I don't go with the organized religion. I understand what Jesus taught. He didn't teach a religion. He taught a way of life, a way of thinking, a way of looking at things. And he understood what he was talking about. That's why he was able to do the things he did. You know, when they said he was the Logos, the Word made flesh, the Word. You know, pagans talk about the word that God spoke in the beginning to make this all happen, to make this all resonate and become a field. You know, they'll say Om or something like that. But when Jesus identified himself as the Word, pagans knew exactly what he was talking about. Hey, they weren't raised up in Sunday school like most Americans were. I'm not knocking you. I'm just saying they're not really teaching you the right thing. They say they are. They mean well. It's not like they're all evil. Some are. Not all. They mean well. But it's not enough to get you off the ground. I don't care what you believe. You need to understand what the truth is. You can believe your car is a Rolls Royce Silver Shadow, but when you go to trade it in and it's an old Dodge Dart, guess what? You're not going to get $500,000 for it. You know? You can believe anything you want, but whether, making it so is quite another deal. Jesus didn't teach a religion. He said he did these things, and then he did things to make it show that it was so. Raised the dead, walked across the water. Who else but the Word could resonate it so that he could walk on water? There's just so much more to this than meets the eye, and I don't want to get into that in this little session here because it's going to just make it very, very long. But I need to be putting this stuff away. Get it back into my little paranormal boogie bag. It says it's a lovely set of Chinese darts. I don't know. How's this red look on this thing? Lovely set of Chinese darts. There you go. And I'm going to try to edit these things and put them kind of together a little bit. Alrighty. Let's close this up and put this stuff away.